Look around you. Really look. What do you see? You see a sea of people drifting through existence, seduced by comfort, paralyzed by distraction, and slowly drowning in the gray waters of the average. We live in a world designed to break you. It is engineered to keep you soft, reactive, and compliant. But deep down in the quiet moments before sleep takes you, you feel a jagged edge in your soul telling you that you were not made for this mediocrity. You were built for war, not a war of guns and trenches, but the silent, brutal war for the ownership of your own mind. Today, we are not just talking about self-improvement. We are handing you the schematics for a complete psychological overhaul. We are dismantling the 33 protocols that separate the forgotten masses from the undeniable few. The battle begins the exact second consciousness returns to your body. Most people lose the war before they even step out of the bedroom. They wake up and immediately surrender their cognitive sovereignty to a glowing rectangle, scrolling through the curated lives of others, flooding their brains with unearned dopamine and anxiety. This is the habit of the slave. To build a bulletproof mind, you must wake up done being average. You do not wake up to browse, you wake up to battle. When that alarm screams, it is not a suggestion. It is a summons to the front lines of your potential. By rejecting the digital pacifier the moment you open your eyes, you are telling your biology that you are the master of your attention, not a consumer of someone else's algorithm. Once your feet hit the floor, you face the first tactical objective of the day, the chaos of your environment. You might think making your bed is trivial, a chore for children. You would be wrong. As Admiral McRaven famously stated, making your bed is the first victory of the day. It is a physical manifestation of order in a chaotic world. By smoothing those sheets, you prove to yourself that you have agency, that you can impose structure where there was none. And from this static order, you must explode into kinetic energy. You cannot think your way out of lethargy. You must move like you are escaping a burning building. Whether it is a set of push-ups until failure or a sprint down the block, physical movement primes the mental pump. You are signaling to your nervous system that the machine is online and ready for violence. With your body primed, you must now confront the enemy within. The mirror is not for vanity. It is for a ruthless self-awareness audit. You cannot fix a machine if you refuse to acknowledge the broken gears. Most people lie to themselves to protect their fragile egos, but you must look yourself in the eye and audit your excuses. That voice whispering that you are too tired, too busy, or not ready, that is the saboteur. You must replace that inner critic with an inner commander. Stop talking to yourself like a victim and start coaching yourself like a champion. This shifts your paradigm from performing, seeking validation from the world, to becoming. Validation is a drug for the insecure. Growth is the fuel for the bulletproof. You are not here to look good, you are here to be undeniable. Now that the foundation is set, we must build the armor, and armor is forged in fire. The modern world sells you comfort as the ultimate goal, but comfort is a slow-acting poison. To inoculate yourself against weakness, you must make pain your gym partner. I am not talking about masochism, I am talking about voluntary hardship. When your lungs burn during a run, or your muscles scream under iron, you are not just building a physique, you are callousing your mind. Every time you want to quit but choose to do one more rep, you are physically rewiring your brain to endure stress. You are teaching your amygdala that you do not flee from intensity, you lean into it. Pain is simply weakness leaving the body, and you should be eager to see it go. This relationship with pain extends beyond the physical into the creative and professional realms. The amateur waits for inspiration. The professional knows that inspiration is a byproduct of labor. You must learn to create when you don't feel like it. Feelings are fleeting weather patterns passing over the mountain of your character. They are not the mountain itself. If you only work when you feel motivated, you will be outpaced by the person who works when they feel miserable. Consistency beats intensity every single time. It is about showing up to the blank page, the empty gym, or the difficult project and doing the work simply because you said you would. This destroys the reliance on mood and builds a reliance on discipline. But how do you maintain this discipline when the world is screaming for your attention? You fight noise with silence. In our hyper-connected era, Silence has become a luxury item, yet it is a necessity for sanity. You must make silence normal again. Carve out a pocket of time where there are no podcasts, no music, no voices, just you and the raw data of your own consciousness. This brings us to the uncomfortable art of embracing boredom. We have been conditioned to treat boredom like a disease, instantly medicating it with a screen. But boredom is actually the incubator of brilliance. When you stop stuffing your brain with cheap entertainment, the mind clears itself. It begins to connect dots it couldn't see through the fog of dopamine. The ability to sit alone in a room and be at peace is a superpower in a distracted world. When you operate from this place of stillness, external chaos loses its grip on you. This allows you to deploy a devastating psychological weapon, the ability to laugh in the face of setbacks. Imagine the power you hold when the worst-case scenario happens, and instead of crumbling, you smirk. This is the ultimate Stoic refusal to let external events dictate your internal state. It is not about suppressing emotion, it is about emotional weightlifting. You feel the heavy emotions, the anger, the grief, the frustration, but you hold them overhead without letting them crush you. You do not act on them, you observe them. This gap between stimulus and response is where your freedom lives. If you can laugh when life tries to break you, you are effectively unbreakable. From this vantage point, your relationship with failure transforms. To the fragile mind, failure is an indictment of character. To the bulletproof mind, failure is simply data. It is information telling you what did not work so you can triangulate what will. You must build a relationship with failure that is professional, not personal. Treat it like a scientist treating a failed experiment. You document the variables, adjust the hypothesis, and run the test again. This clinical detachment clears the path for the third phase of our protocol. Weaponized focus. In an economy of distraction, focus is the new oil. You must guard it with your life. Go deep, not wide. Do not be a mile wide and an inch deep. Be a laser that burns through a single point until it ignites. To keep that laser sharp, you need to constantly upgrade the lens. This means you must learn something difficult every single day. I don't mean reading a celebrity tweet. I mean struggling with a concept that makes your brain hurt. This keeps your neuroplasticity firing and your ego humble. You cannot remain arrogant when you are confused by a new language or a complex theory. Combine this with the habit of journaling like a scientist. Most people use journals to whine about their feelings. You will use yours for diagnostics. What went right today? Where did I lack discipline? What is the plan for tomorrow? Writing crystallizes thought. It takes the nebulous clouds of anxiety in your head and traps them on paper, where they can be analyzed and dismantled. However, all this intellectual growth is useless if your time is being stolen by obligations you never wanted. You must learn to say no. It is a complete sentence. It requires no justification. Every time you say yes to something mediocre, you are saying no to something exceptional. You must protect your time ruthlessly because it is the only non-renewable resource you have. Treat your hours like currency. Would you throw your wallet out the window? Then why do you throw your afternoon away on mindless gossip or events you hate? Make time your weapon. Spend it only on high ROI activities, return on investment, that compound your health, wealth, or wisdom. If it does not build the future you want, it does not get a minute of your present. This rigorous filtering applies to your consumption as well. When you read, do not just read for entertainment. Read like you are mining for gold. You are hunting for that one idea, that one tactical insight that can shift your trajectory. Read for utility. And once you find that gold, do not just hoard it, spend it. You must become addicted to execution. We live in a world of information obesity and action starvation. Thinking is just noise until you do something about it. Doing is the signal. A mediocre plan executed violently today is far better than a perfect plan executed next week. Bridge the gap between I know and I do. That gap is where dreams go to die and where the bulletproof mind goes to thrive. As you build this momentum, you will realize something profound. Discipline is sexy. Society paints discipline as a punishment, a cage. But look closer. The disciplined body, the disciplined bank account, the disciplined mind. These are things of beauty. They represent self-respect. Reframe discipline not as deprivation, but as the ultimate form of self-love. It is you loving your future self enough to sacrifice your present comfort. And here is the secret key. Keep it quiet. Keep secrets from the internet. In a culture of oversharing, privacy builds power. You do not need to broadcast every workout, every meal, or every business win. When you work in the dark, your results will shine in the light. Let your success make the noise so you don't have to. Now we move to the final defense, the shield of social and emotional control. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so you must keep your circle tight and demanding. Surround yourself with people who force you to level up, not those who validate your stagnation. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. And when you step out of that circle into the hostile world, remember, stay calm when disrespected. Reaction is submission. When someone tries to provoke you, they are trying to control you. By remaining silent and unaffected, you deny them that power. Silence is loud. It signals that your internal peace is too fortified to be breached by their cheap words. This control stems from a fundamental shift in your reward system. You must learn to reward yourself with pride, not pleasure. Dopamine from junk food, video games, or casual flings is cheap and fleeting. The deep, burning warmth of self-respect that comes from doing the hard thing is eternal. You are trading the candy for the gold. But to hold this gold, you must starve your ego to fuel your soul. The ego wants to be recognized. The soul wants to be realized. Humility is the ultimate defense because a humble man cannot be humiliated. He knows who he is. He does not need the applause of the crowd to confirm his value. He confirms it every morning in the mirror when he keeps his promises to himself. To maintain this state, you must become the most reliable person you know. Your word to yourself must be ironclad. If you say you will exercise at 5 a.m. and you don't, you are teaching yourself that you are a liar. Do not break the contract. To reinforce this contract, build rituals and anchors. These are physical actions that trigger a mental state. It could be the shock of a cold shower, the rhythm of a breathing exercise, or the tying of your shoelaces. When you perform the ritual, the mind knows it is game time. These anchors keep you tethered to your mission when the storms of life try to blow you off course. They are your reset buttons in a world of glitches. As you become more reliable, you will feel the need to prove it less. This leads to the habit of speaking less and observing more. In every room, the person talking the most is usually the one with the least to say. They are leaking energy. The person listening is absorbing data, analyzing dynamics, and formulating a strategy. Information flows to the silent. Be the black hole in the room that absorbs everything but reveals nothing until the critical moment. This might make you feel isolated, but you must choose loneliness over mediocrity. The path to the top is narrow and the air is thin. You will lose friends who bonded with your weakness. Let them go. Solitude is a fair price to pay for the clarity of a bulletproof mind. In this solitude, you learn another vital lesson. Don't over-explain. Your choices do not require a defense committee. You do not need to justify why you aren't drinking, why you're waking up early, or why you're working on a Saturday. When you over-explain, you are subconsciously asking for permission to be different. You don't need permission. Instead, use that mental energy to invert your thinking. This is a powerful mental model. Instead of just asking, "How do I succeed?" ask, "How could I fail?" and then methodically block every single one of those paths. By anticipating the landmines, burnout, distraction, ego, you can walk through the minefield with confidence. It is not pessimism. It is strategic pessimism for the sake of operational optimism. And finally, we arrive at the apex of the protocol. Remaining calm under provocation. The world will try to provoke you. Traffic, incompetent coworkers, family drama, internet trolls, they are all testing your frame. The highest form of control is not being pulled into a fight you didn't choose. When you can look at chaos and offer it nothing but a blank stare, you have won. You have become untouchable. This is the essence of the bulletproof mind. It is not about being aggressive. It is about being impregnable. It is the realization that your internal state is a fortress, and you are the only one with the key. No one enters unless you let them. Let's zoom out and look at the architecture we have just built. We started with the foundation of identity, waking up to battle, moving with purpose, and auditing our own excuses. We built the armor of resilience, befriending pain, embracing boredom, and laughing at setbacks. We sharpened the weaponry of execution, laser focus, ruthless time management, and addiction to doing. And finally, we raised the shield of control, small circles, silence, and absolute emotional sovereignty. These are not 33 random tips. They are a cohesive system, a lifestyle. When you integrate these habits, you are not just changing what you do. You are mutating who you are. You are killing the weak, reactive version of yourself and birthing the warrior. But a warning is necessary. This protocol is not for everyone. It is not for the dabbler or the tourist. Implementing these habits will hurt. You will feel resistance from your body, your old friends, and your own brain. They will beg you to return to the warm, soft embrace of mediocrity. The easy path is always there, waiting for you with open arms. But you know where that path leads. It leads to a life of quiet desperation, of what-ifs and if-onlys. The path of the bulletproof mind is steep, rocky, and often lonely. But the view from the summit, it is worth every drop of sweat, every moment of doubt, and every sacrifice you make along the way. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. If you execute on even half of these habits, you will be unrecognizable. You will walk differently. You will speak with a weight that commands respect. You will look in the mirror and see a stranger, a dangerous, disciplined, capable stranger. This version of you is waiting. He is demanding that you start. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. The gap between you and him is closed only by action. Every time you make your bed, you take a step. Every time you deny a craving, you take a step. Every time you stay calm in the storm, you take a step. Do not keep him waiting. He is the man you were born to be. We have covered the tactics, the strategies, and the philosophy. But knowledge without application is just another form of entertainment. You now have the blueprint. The question is, do you have the guts to build the house? The world is going to keep spinning. The distractions will keep coming. The waves of average will keep crashing against your shore. You can either be the sand that gets washed away, or you can be the rock that breaks the wave. The choice is yours, and you make it every single time your eyes open in the morning. Choose the rock. Choose the fight. Choose the bulletproof mind. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. If this briefing ignited something in your dark, tired soul, then you are in the right place. My awesome channel is not here to entertain you. We are here to arm you. We dig deep into the psychology of performance, the philosophy of power, and the tactics of the elite. But we can't do it alone. We need a legion, so smash that subscribe button not as a favor to me, but as a contract with yourself. A notification bell is not an annoyance. It is your call to arms for the next briefing. Leave a comment below with "I am bulletproof" if you are committing to the protocol today. Let the world know you have woken up. I'll see you on the battlefield.